How'd that feel for a tone-setting first win against them?
Never a dull moment. It was fun. Certainly, it's great to come out on the winning side of that, but it's a pretty good baseball game on both sides. Really, at the end of the day, they competed well, we competed well, and came out on top. But end of the day, yeah, that's a good way to start it.
Matt Teating told us that you wanted to take him out after the 7th. What kind of implored you to let him go back out for the 8th?
The amount of conviction in his voice when he comes up to me, it's not encouraged for a pitcher to come up and tell me what he wants to do. But when a young man looks right through your eyes and says, "I want the frickin' ball, and I will get you to the 9th. Let's go. I want it," and we need a little bit more of that. And you know what? It was a situation that I thought, okay, it's one that I didn't think was gonna be too detrimental. At worst case scenario, we had good backup behind him, and in case anybody got on, I liked the matchups behind him that we had ready to go. But like I said, I'm not going to make a habit of that. But when a guy comes up to you with that type of conviction that says, I want the rock, like I said, we need that culture and more of that. So, hey man, you want the ball that bad, go get him. And sometimes you just got to trust your players.
It seemed like as Teating was coming off the mound, the 8th there's a little chirping going on. Was that just kind of him, just an outpour of emotion sort of situation, or what was going on there?
Yeah, I didn't see it all. I was looking at the lineup card to seeing who was coming in next and kind of planning for the next inning. But I was made aware that there was some chirping going on. Matty coming off the mound and chirping, and obviously I don't encourage that, but at the end of the day, this is a rivalry series. There's going to be chirping. We aren't choir boys out there. I'm sure they didn't. I'm sure they're not like they sat there and had their lips sealed all game. I'm sure. So again, I'm speculating. I can't prove that, but at the end of the day, man, emotions are high. They know that, and for me, this is a rivalry that has been around a lot longer than I've been here, and it's supposed to be intense. It's supposed to be heated a little bit. And if you can't enjoy that, then why do we have rivalries? So for me, again, I don't encourage our guys talking and chirping, but on the same token, it's going to happen in a series like this. So am I disappointed? Not really, to be honest. I'm not overly concerned about it. We got verbally warned, and I told our guys, stay with us, that's fine. And but at the end of the day, it's the 8th inning of a 9-inning nail biter, so what are you going to do?
2 homers and 5 RBIs off the bat of Luke Keeschel. He's bumped his batting average up over 150 points in the last 2.5 weeks. What can you say about just his improvement and his settling down?
He's been outstanding. We all knew it was coming. It's just a matter of time that you can't contain him for too long. You can keep him off balance for a little bit, but he's going to figure it out. He works too hard, he cares too much, and he's too good of an athlete to not figure it out. And we as a staff knew it's just a matter of time. We bumped him down to the 4 spot just to try to get him confident and just still getting results with decent at bats potentially. And he's really taken off since he's been in the 4 hole. And it's when he gets hot. I mean, he's had streaks like this in the fall and in the spring, against our guys, and I'm like, phew, it's pretty good, and he's just getting going. So there's more in the tank with him. So I'm pumped that he's with us.
There's a lot of new guys on this team. Obviously, with the transfer portal, it seems like every year there's new players across the college level. Have you had any conversations with players about this rivalry and like what goes into it?
Absolutely, yeah. We discussed quite a bit of it last night after practice. Just gave him kind of a little history lesson of the years and years of the rivalry, just from not only just baseball but the overall history of it. I thought it's important for them to understand it. Like you said, there are a lot of guys coming from different programs, and they need to understand what this means. Not to put unnecessary pressure on anybody, but just you got to understand what this rivalry means. And it's, like I said, we're talking about chirping a little bit. Like, come on. If that's the worst thing that comes out of this type of rivalry, we had a pretty good weekend. So I expect our guys to be intense, and they need to know what's on the line. You know, I'm sure Chip's done the same thing with his team too. This is what college baseball, in my mind, should be. It should be intense like this. So, but yeah, they were made aware of it, and they understand the importance of this series, and they understand what happened to us last year, and you know, they responded well today.
Atmosphere-wise, how did tonight feel? A lot of energy in the park. It felt like tonight.
Yeah, to me, this is kind of what I've always envisioned Muni being like, or hoping that Muni would be like. I'm pumped that Coach Dillingham came out and brought his football team out and got the crowd going a little bit there early. And you know, he has done a great job at marketing the Ignite the Valley. And he's right, man. This is, you know, these kids are out here working daily and tirelessly, and you know, to have the support of the community is important. And having an atmosphere like this is important for our guys. And this is what it should be. I think. I'm not saying we got to have this many people every night, but it would sure be cool if we could. This makes the energy for our guys that much more important and more fun, and you know, they get to see some pretty damn good baseball too, on both sides of the ball. You know, and this was a well played game on both sides. Obviously, we would like to have thrown a few more strikes there early with Ross, but you know, he had a gutty performance and got us through. You know, and did the best he could. And at the end of the day, it wasn't perfect, but guys were competing, and that's what this is supposed to be about.
I believe in the 8th inning you were talking to, I believe it was Tobias, right outside the dugouts, to see that keep all time. What were you kind of going over with him? What was kind of that message like?
Nothing. I was just giving Piv a little more time. We were allowed 3 offensive timeouts, and that was a time we had 2 quick outs, and Piv needed a few more pitches down there, and I wanted to give him a few more warm-up pitches, and Toby and I were just talking about fun stuff. So we weren't really talking about baseball. It was, hey, how you doing? And you know, everything good, personal life good. And, you know. And so I said, well, see the ball up, get a good pitch to hit. And so I'm just taking some time to give Piv a few more pitches down there. So I said, is there anything else you want to talk about? And he kind of looked at me like, no. And I said, okay, go get a hit. And he did. So maybe I should do that more often. I don't know. Yeah, that was nothing more than just giving Piv a few more minutes.
What led to your decision to give Piver off the 9th inning?
Track record, history. He's just been outstanding when he comes in for an inning. You know, we're learning about Piv that you know, he can be pretty electric for an inning, and at times we can try to maybe stretch him to a couple innings, but we've had, you know, this year in particular, we've gone more than an inning and try to run him back out there for a second. It hasn't gone the way that we had hoped in a couple times. So you know, we're trying to use him for that one electric inning when is most crucial. And sometimes that's going to be in the 6th, 7th, 8th. Tonight we had matched up perfectly to where we were going to bring him in the 9th, and thought we had enough to get through the 8th with Maddie, and you know, we had Wayne Scott ready, we had Timmy Manning ready, you know, for the lefties if we got in any trouble. But at the end of the day, we got through that inning well, and it's Piv's 9th. So we'll send him through the heart of the order and give him the tough outs, because I think he's proven that he's been the most effective guy against their better hitters.
You guys have started to use PitchCom. When did you guys start using that, and how have you seen it kind of help, like, just keep guys sort of, you know, constantly working and sort of like in a groove, I guess?
PitchCom?
PitchCom, yeah. With you guys are relaying signs.
The
yeah, the wrist. Yeah,
oh,
sorry.
I thought they were okay. Yeah.
No.
I didn't know what the name of it was. I'm new to this electronics world in baseball, but it is, you know, we're under the gun with the pitch clock, so we've had to come up with. We've had to adjust to the changing times. We can't give the traditional signs anymore because it takes too long, and so we've had to adjust and go to the wristbands. Is it something that it's easier? Yeah, you just punch in the number and hey, fastball. You know, it's easier, but you know, I'm still a little bit old school, I guess, because I like the sign giving and being able to try to pick signs and take advantage of that type of stuff. But you know, unfortunately, that part of the game I think is in the rearview mirror. But it certainly has increased the pace of play. It has helped our guys to not have to worry about rushing to get signs and then come set and not have enough time to hold the runner at first if necessary. So all in all, it's been, given the landscape that we have, it's been extremely helpful.
When did you guys start using that?
That was the Irvine game on Saturday. Is the first thing. Was it the Irvine game? I know I got thrown out of the game that day. Yeah, that was the first day we used. Saturday against Irvine was the first one because I got sent home early that day because for another time.
Speaking of Irvine, tonight's win makes it 8 of 9 since that series. What have you seen from the team that's allowed this to happen?
We didn't. We're still not playing great. We're playing better, but I think just having them understand when you force another team to beat you as opposed to beating yourself, you can actually be pretty good. And that, like I said, I think we got a good team. I do. I believe it in my heart that we got a chance to make a good run and stuff. As long as we don't beat ourselves, and as long as we don't give up free bases and walk guys and hit guys and give up extra outs in an inning, we got a chance. Our offense hopefully is starting to get healthy here with Nick McLean hopefully close to being ready to go. And we have some talented guys that aren't swinging the bat very well right now, and they're capable of doing a lot more. So if we can get a few more guys going and stay healthy, and then from a pitching standpoint, just attack the strike zone, I like our chances.
You kind of spoke about the new technology with the pitch columns. Did you have any thoughts maybe of using the review today? I know it's kind of a new thing this season. Was that something that you kind of thought of?
There wasn't. I didn't see any plays that were necessary to use it. I knew that we had that it's installed and it's ready to go, so we can challenge plays and review plays at the moment. And today I didn't see anything that was really worth challenging. I thought the umpires did a good job out there. So there wasn't a call that I thought was questionable that we could have challenged.
Coach, it was around several weeks ago now when Ross had an appearance, got flustered a little bit, call didn't go his way here or there, and you had mentioned after that game that some of those frustrations he needed to work those out for himself. He had a night where could have gone similarly, but you saw some perseverance from him. What was that an indicator of in terms of the growth that he's shown, I guess, in these last few weeks?
Well, I think he dug deep today. He got, I think, in the third inning there, he walked 3 guys in a row, and we were contemplating giving him the hook, and it's just, but he dug a little bit deeper and was able to get a punch out there to end that inning. So that's the situation where I think the day you're referring to, the wheels kind of came off in that scenario. And then he came back the next inning and with a short leash and went through the next inning pretty clean. I think against the top of their lineup, if I'm not mistaken, and then got 2 quick outs the following inning even. So we were actually contemplating going with him for one more, and then hit a little speed bump there, and we thought the ball was flattening out a little bit. But he didn't throw the ball as well as he's capable of. 103 pitches and 4 2/3 is not pinpoint accuracy for him. So there's a lot more in the tank, but I think when a guy can gut it up a little bit and get through 4 2/3 and give your team a chance after giving up 2 in the first and kind of settling things down and not having his best stuff and still keeping a pretty good offensive team in check, he's going to keep getting better.
Winning a game like this against a rival, how do you kind of keep the guys level-headed to go and get the next 2 now?
I level-headed in this, I think, is I'd rather just have them excited to play. For me, it's we didn't have much of a conversation after the game other than quick celebration and keep the intensity and keep the momentum going. Didn't want to point out any negatives today. Just go enjoy it and be ready to button the chin strap again tomorrow, because every game is going to be, chances are there's going to be something interesting happen tomorrow too. And I want these guys just excited and relish in this type of environment and this rivalry. So, I think they'll be ready to play again tomorrow.
Really, I believe it was in 2016 when you were with the D-backs, Chip Hill. He was the manager there. Do you have a relationship with him? And what is that kind of relationship like, considering that he's coaching on the other side right now?
You know, in pro ball, I didn't have much of a relationship with him, other than he was a bench coach for a couple teams that I was playing against. And then with the D-backs, I kind of got on a little bit after, I think after he had left the D-backs. But since then, he and I have connected, you know, at the Pac-12 meetings, and you know, Chip is, he's a great guy, you know, and I know that's not supposed to be said in this type of rivalry thing, but if I'm speaking truth, Chip's a great guy. He's as passionate about his program as I am about mine, and I think that's what this rivalry needs, is someone that loves his program as much as I love ASU, and he's fiery and is an intense guy, and I love that about him. I think he's great, and I'm pumped that he came back to his alma mater too. I think that's what I think that's pretty cool. So, but off the field, you know, we I think you could ask him. I think we get along just fine, and you know, look forward to continuing to compete against them. It just makes it fun.
You mentioned on Wednesday that Ethan Long was going to be getting a second opinion soon. When exactly is that? And also to add on to that, how do you sort of keep him level-headed throughout this time in which, you know, he's probably pretty eager to get back on the field?
Yeah, Ethan is going to have kind of shifting gears. He's going to have a procedure done again next week, which is not great news. Or not I think I don't want to share too much information other than he's going to have a procedure and going to be out for a significant time from a hitting standpoint. He has toyed with the idea about getting back on the mound. You know, I've been waiting for this moment for him to say, okay, I'm ready to start pitching. If I can't hit, I would like to pitch, because he can help. You guys saw Ethan a few years ago, and a little bit last year. He's got an electric arm, and he can help us win games late in the game. So I've told him to start getting his arm in shape, and work with Jesse on you know, strengthening the shoulder and getting that ready to go, and starting his throwing program. I said, we're gonna pitch you. We're gonna do it right. We're not gonna just throw you in there. We're gonna ramp you up nice and slow and get you ready to actually compete and be a pitcher. If you can't hit, you can help us on the mound. So he's bought into that at the moment, and wants to do that and wants to help. Ethan's very competitive, and I think you know, timetable, I'm not 100% sure when that would be, but you know, 2-3 weeks, depending on what they find surgery-wise, I think he'd be ready to go on the mound. So that would be a nice shot in the arm for us. You know, late in the year, getting that type of arm coming out of the bullpen would be another blessing for us to come have another power arm coming out of there.
And just to clarify, Ethan Long at first base or designated hitter this season, is that out of the question, or is that just more of a long-term thing, but he still could come back in that?
Here in the next few days, you know, we're pretty thin right now. We got another Drake Varnado broken finger today, or broke a finger a couple days ago, but found out today it was broken. So we're awful thin with position players. So I told him and McLean, hey, if I need you, not to hit necessarily, but to play defense or pinch run, you got to be ready, because this is a game we don't have to have only 27 active players. We could have everybody, being that it's a rivalry series. So those guys are hot and ready in case I need them. But I'm not saying it's out of the question that he would be available to hit after the procedure's done. It all depends on what they find. I think, unfortunately, I'm not overly optimistic about the offensive part of it for the remainder of the year. If we do get him back, I'd be extremely happy. But at this point, I can't bank on it. So try the next best thing and hopefully get something out of his arm. But if he does surprise us and able to come back and it's nothing major, then it would be a warm welcome to have him back in the lineup.
Thanks, Will. Appreciate it.